All right, folks, good morning. Sorry, I have a series of serious technical issues this morning, but so I have to make this quick. Hopefully, I won't have any issues tomorrow, but I'm not. I'm still out of town, so anyway. All right, so having said that, I'm not sure if I'll be able to schedule tomorrow's pre-market pulse. I was having an issue with Google locking me out because I'm not in the same location. Um anyway. So let me just get started here, go over a few things really quickly. All right. And again, sorry, I just have a lot of stuff that's not working the way it should be right now. All right. So for today, Monday the 30th, we have the following information. At 9:45 a.m., we have Chicago PMI, which is a moderately important report. Not expecting much out of that. 10 a.m., we have pending home sales, which is also a moderately important report. And that will be it for today. All right. Other than that, taking a look at the trading activity from last week, we had the following. Um, for Friday, uh, yeah, for Friday, we had Nvidia was a bearish opportunity. Okay. By the way, the Nasdaq. Before I get into that, the Nasdaq ETF currently is trading lower, substantially lower, and it was bearish on Friday as well. So we're continuing to sell lower. But taking a look at the stocks that I mentioned, Nvidia was bearish on Friday. We were able to get a move to negative T1, but nothing past that point. Robinhood was also bearish, and we were able to get through negative T1. We got close to negative T2, but it didn't quite get there. And then finally, we have, excuse me, we have Tesla, which was able to go through our negative T1. Got about 2/3 of the way to negative T2, but never made it. So those were our profitable opportunities. The others were all break evens. So overall, not a bad day. All right. Taking a look at the pre-market, here's what we have. I'm just going to rocket through these. I won't have time to actually do anything other than that. So we have Holo, which is, sorry, I'm going to resize the screen. Holo, which is presently, uh, let's try it again. Holo, which is presently up 110% on 20 million shares and trading at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market list. If I can find my list. There it is. Come on. All right, there's my list. All right, so HOLO is now added to the list. All right, next up. Okay, next up is LIDR, looks like. Let's see. Which is presently down 24%, 2.7 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add LIDR. Yeah. All right, next up is Looks like FFIE. Let's see. That is presently up 29% plus 10.7 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to the pre-market list. Next up is OCTO, which is presently up 71% on 20.7 million shares, and it's at least $1 per share, so we can go ahead and add that OCTO to the pre-market list. Next up is REKR, which is presently up 45%, 23.7 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add REKR to the list. Next up is INTZ. That's currently up 106%, 26.4 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add INTZ to the radar. Next up is RVSN, which is currently up 9.92% on 5.4 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we can go ahead and add that to the radar. Symbol is RVSN. Next up is INVZ, which is presently only up 1.6%, so we can't add that. We'll skip it. All right, next up is AMPG. That's down only 4% at the moment, so that doesn't qualify either. So we'll skip that. Next up is IBRX. That is currently only up 1%, so that doesn't qualify either. I'm not sure why these are showing up. Next up is LITM. That's currently down 39.38%, 11.7 million shares, but it's under $1 per share, so we can't use that, so we'll skip it. Next up is PDYN, which is presently up 10.62% on 4.5 million shares and at least $1 per share, so we will add PDYN to the radar. Next up is Soundhound, SOUN. That's currently down 5%. Okay, so that one we'll have to pass on. Next up is WIMI. That's currently down 22%, 5.2 million shares, at least $1 per share, so we'll add that to our list. WIMI. Next up is JFBR. Okay, that won't work. Next up is for 1 second. Next up is LAES. That's currently down 11.34%, 11 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that, LAES, to the radar. Next up is RGTI, it looks like. Let's see. Okay, that's currently down 8%, 12.7 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we can go ahead and add that. RGTI. Next up is ABAT, looks like. That is currently down 8.63%, 2 million shares plus, at least $1 per share. We'll add that, ABAT. All right, next up is ONDS. ONDS, okay, it's only up 5.37%, so we'll pass on that. Next up is RZLV. Nope, that's not down enough, so we'll skip that. Next up is let's see, hold on. That's not enough. Next up is VCIG. That's currently up 6.59%, 2 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market list. The symbol is VCIG. All right, next up is SLDP. Okay, that's not up or down enough, so we'll pass on that. Next one is PLRZ. That's currently up 60%, 12.8 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market list. Next up is Mara. That's actually not. Is it enough? Let's see. Mara. Yeah, it's not enough. 2.7%. And last one I have is NLSP. Now we'll have to wrap up with this one, even if there are others. NLSP currently up 57%, about 16 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that NLSP to the radar. All right, folks, I will have to wrap up for today's pre-market pulse because we're getting a little too late in the day. So I'll go ahead and wrap up. Please be sure to like the video. I see we have 7 likes, more than 7 people watching. So please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Helps us with the YouTube algorithm. If anyone's watching this and you're not familiar with our company, check out fundertrading.com, our website. You'll see a link in the description to this video. Other than that, I'll add Watt. Other than that, for everyone's part of the coaching program, I'll see you there in about 3 minutes, and we'll pick up for today's session. All right. I'll add Watt, W-A-T-T, since that's very active. All right, folks. Have a great trading session. I'll see you for tomorrow's pre-market pulse. Hopefully, I just got to be able to get logged in and be able to schedule the next one. So we'll see what happens there. All right, folks. Have a good one. Take care.